Hey everybody, it's Renette again. We're here with the second installment of Virtual Tfilat Yeladim. Due to unforeseen circumstances and the weather, it looks like Tfilat Yeladim might or might not be going ahead. Chances are it will be a no, but just in case, here's a little bit of Parasha preps for you and your family for this coming Shabbat. Who remembers what we spoke about last week on the first installment? Did you say the 10 plagues? You're partly right. We spoke about the first 7 out of 10. Let's recap them, shall we? The first plague, as we can see in our book, was the Parasha of Dam. That is really scary. Now, before we started, I had some water to drink. Sounds good, right? But if Chas v'Sholem, I was an Egyptian in the time of Yetziat Mitzrayim, before it took place, and I turned on my berries, my tap, my faucet, you get the drift, guys, the water would turn to blood. The fish would die. But hang on, no, it wasn't for Bnei Israel. Don't even think for a second it was for Bnei Israel. It was just for the Egyptians. Remember, this is just a recap. And then the next plague, because Paro didn't listen, remember he was a stubborn old man, Hashem made frogs. Frogs everywhere. There were frogs jumping on his head, on his tummy. He would open up his kilo oven. A frog would jump out. Oh my goodness. Paro, you still won't let Bnei Israel go? Fine. Hashem's got lots of tricks up his sleeves. Keilu. What else does Hashem want to do to tricky old Paro? Kinim. Oh, just thinking about it makes me want to shudder. Shudder means to shake. Ooh. It's called lice. There were lice everywhere, not just in the hair, but all over the body. They would just itch and itch and itch and itch. And Telfast didn't work. Nothing would work to stop them itching. And Paro said, you know what? I don't care. I don't want Bnei Israel to go. They can't go. And all of Paro's people who lived in Egypt said, let them go. Let them go. And we'll stop itching. So Paro called in Moshe and Aaron. You know what he said? Fine. They can go. But first let this yucky plague go. Okay, said Moshe and Aaron. Hashem, please make the last go. Went just like that. But Paro, he's not a nice man. We've already decided, right? And he said, they're not allowed to go. Oh well. Now, remember we said last time, if not, watch the first video with your family. Hashem made wild animals walk down the street. Can you imagine? You're walking down the street, all of a sudden, a lion, a tiger, an elephant. All these animals are just walking and walking down the street. But Bnei Israel always believed in Hashem. They do not see any animals. They were fine. But Paro said, no. Sorry, Bnei Israel, you're not allowed to go. So Hashem said, you know what? That's fine. Don't let us go. I'm going to give you another makkah, Paro and you silly Egyptians. All the animals are going to die. They're going to get sick. And then what will they do? Maybe Paro will listen. Maybe Paro will listen. But do you think Paro listened? Really? He's had 5 chances now. He's had Dam, he's had Svadeya, he's had Kinim, he's had Arov, he's had Dever. Sorry, Paro. You're not going to let us go? Fine. We'll stop the plague, but one of these days, you are going to have to listen to Hashem. You are going to have to realize He is the King of the whole world. And you're going to listen good. Now, the last plague in last week's Parasha is called Shchim. And they're boils. Not on their face, not on their arms, everywhere. But they were bigger than the Kinim, bigger than the third plague of lice. They will itch and itch and itch and itch. And Paro's men said, enough, Hashem. enough power, sorry. Lahavdil, right guys? Seeing if you're listening. And you know what he said? Let B'nai Israel go. Look how much we've endured. How much more? He says, you know what guys? If I let them go, who will work for me? What would you rather? Have people go or have people make all of us suffer? Paro's like, it's a tough decision. What am I going to do? And he weighed it up. What should I do? What should I do? What should I do? Now, what is this week's parasha? It's called Bo. Have you ever seen a little grasshopper? They're about this big, right? I'm going to show you a picture what happened in the time of Yetziat Mitzrayim. Paro didn't listen. Again, we're up to number 8. I mean, if my family say don't do something, I usually listen the first or second time. If Nolly says something, I listen the first time. You have to listen. But Paro, he didn't listen on the 8th go. So Hashem made a terrible plague called Arbe, grasshoppers. Now there were grasshoppers everywhere, and I mean everywhere. They would eat all the food, everything. They didn't leave anything. They had up all the fruit, they had up all the veggies, and there was nothing left to eat. And you know what Paro said? Moshe, Aaron, come to my palace immediately. He didn't send it via WhatsApp. He didn't send it via text. He called for them to come straight away. Come to my palace. I want to let B'nai Israel go. And Moshe and Aaron were big, like, is he really going to let us go? He's had 7 chances. What's going to be different this time? Paro calls, we go. So off they went to the palace. And Paro said, you know what, guys? If you make Hashem make the Arbe go, I'm going to let B'nai Israel go. Yep, done deal. Done deal. Moshe and Aaron were like, really? You're going to let us go? We won't be slaves anymore? He goes, yeah, go. Go to the Midbar. Go daven to Hashem. But you have to come back. You can only go with some of you. And Hashem, Moshe and Aaron said, okay, Hashem, Paro has spoken. I want you to stop the Arbe. Big blow of wind. Whoosh. But guess what happened? All the Arbes went, but Paro's heart didn't change. He still said, I tricked you. I tricked you. B'nai Israel can't go. You know what I feel sorry for? Poor Moshe and Aaron. Now, this is really scary. Imagine you go outside and it's pitch black. There are no lights, no flashlights, no torches, no nothing, no candles, nothing. It's as dark as when you go to sleep and your eyes are shut. So Hashem did a big makkah, darkness, choshech, and it was really scary. They couldn't see in front of them. And then Hashem said, you know what? He hasn't listened to me all these other 8 times. I'm going to make it even worse. How can it be worse than dark? I'm glad you asked. You know how you can make it worse than dark? Just say, I'm standing up. Look, I'm standing. It was in the time of darkness. And I was in Mitzri, chas v'sholom. As I was standing, I would not be able to move. I would stay like this for 3 days. My arms will get very sore. My whole body will be very sore. But Hashem was davening, hoping Paro would have a change of heart. Now in that time, B'nai Yisrael would go into the Egyptian's house. How can they go walking around in the darkness? How can they see what's going on? Good question. Hashem did a big miracle. Where they went, there was light. Only where B'nai Israel were. Now what were they doing? What were they doing in the Mitzri's house? They were looking for the reward they were going to get for being slaves after Hashem let B'nai Israel go. They didn't take any of it with them, but they were looking so they would know where it was kept. Now, Paro said, you know what, guys? I'm sure you know by now the answer. I'm not going to let them go. I'm not going to let them go. And the Paro said, you know what? The next time you see me, Moshe and Aaron, you will surely die. And Moshe said, you know what, Hashem? Paro, sorry, Lavdil. Sorry, guys, think if you're listening again. You will not see my face, but there's going to be something far, far, far worse. And then you will definitely have a change of heart. Meanwhile, Moshe and Aaron told all of Bnei Israel, we are going to be able to leave Egypt. We can feel it in our bones. We can feel it all over us. We are getting out of Egypt. But before we do, who do we delve into, guys? You got it, guys. Hashem. But the Mitzrim, they don't believe in Hashem. Don't ask why. That's for another topic, why they don't believe in Hashem. But you know what they do? They believe their lamb is Ki'ilu, their God. And we are going to scare them. You know what we're going to do? We're going to get all our lambs and we're going to tie to our bedpost and we're going to make a big korban to thank Hashem. And when they see our lambs, they're going to get scared. Like, what are they doing? But we have to leave it there for 4 days to make a korban Pesach. Back to the last plague. Do you remember what it's called from the story of Pesach? Makat Bechorot. All the firstborns in the house passed away. Every single one. But hang on, what if someone in that house was a secondborn? And their firstborn was on a holiday, Ki'ilu. You know, in those days they could travel, they didn't have corona, they didn't have bidud, they didn't have all these things that we do. Hashem said, you know what? I don't care. Everyone who's the oldest in the house is going to pass away. But Paro got very, very, very scared. He said, I'm a firstborn. I don't want your God to kill me. What am I going to do? But Hashem said, I'm going to make sure that Paro survives so he can see that Hashem is in charge. He knows what's doing. So with the lamb, do you remember the lamb we saw just before? They got the lamb and they got the blood and they put it on their doorpost. Ki'ilu, that they wouldn't, Hashem would know which houses were Jewish and which houses weren't Jewish, and he would pass over the houses that weren't Jewish. Guys, I've told you this from day one. Hashem knows everything. Why did he have to get them to paint the houses? To show that they're Jewish. Okay, they didn't have mezuzahs in those days. Okay, he knows they're Jewish. Hashem knows everything. Hashem knows what I'm going to say before I even say it. That is impressive. Hashem knows what I'm going to say. He knew I was going to say that. But Hashem wanted Bnei Israel to be able to do another mitzvah. That is why he got them to paint the blood over the doorposts. You know what? Paro went out in the middle of the night. Everywhere he could walk, he would hear screaming and screaming and screaming. And he was like, what is going on? He said, I've got to find Moshe and Aaron. I've got to tell him to stop this plague. But the Bnei Israel was smarter than that. Paro would say, where do these Moshe and Aaron live? And the little kids would say, over there. He doesn't really live over there. He lives over there. And he lives over there. Because they wanted to trick Paro. And rightly so. He deserved it. Let's see what else happens. I'm going to ask you a few quick questions. And if you know the answers, you can get your email number to WhatsApp me the answers. What were the last 3 makot we just mentioned? Just in this week's parasha. And I want to wish you a very big Shabbat Shalom. If we don't see you this week in person, you've always got this Tfilat Yeladim for virtual. Please give yourselves a big Shabbat Shalom hug from Noli and myself. We love you and we look forward to seeing you. And may this Corona finish b'mhera b'yameinu. Amen. Selah. Love you lots, guys.